Get out of here, you piece of trash. Scum like you can't breathe the same air as us. Tony, the bar owner, roared, his face red with rage as he grabbed Henry by the collar, abruptly lifting him from the stool where he had been quietly sitting moments before. Henry tried to remain calm. I just came for a drink, friend, he replied, trying to free himself from Tony's grip. Friend, Tony bellowed. I'll never be friends with someone as despicable as you. The entire bar froze. Patrons fell into silence, some curious, some complicit. Tony shoved Henry toward the door, eyes burning with hatred. You know what? Tony sneered. I don't believe you were an Ojal. Probably stole that badge. Those words stung like acid. Henry's composed expression cracked. Never insult my honor, he whispered. Tony laughed cruelly, stepping closer. Your honor? What honor does a useless black man like you have? Henry stood firm, fist clenched. I just wanted a drink. In peace. Then go drink in the gutter. Tony shouted, raising his fist and slamming it into Henry's face. Henry stumbled. Before he could react, a second blow slammed into his stomach, sending him to the floor. He coughed, struggling to breathe, blood mixing with tears. The humiliation hurt worse than the pain. Tony towered over him. Get up, and don't come back. Henry staggered to his feet and stumbled into the night. But the cold air didn't cool the fire burning in his chest. As he passed a lamppost, Tony's voice came again, this time darker. Thought I was done. Think again. Tony tackled him from behind, slamming him against the post. Henry cried out, falling again. Kicks rained down, cruel and merciless. You're just garbage, Tony hissed. Henry shielded himself with weak arms. His body, aged, scarred by war, refused to fight back. He felt broken, powerless. Finally, the beating stopped. Tony stood above him, breathing hard. Stay down. In the dirt where you belong. Henry, barely conscious, pulled his phone from his pocket. Hands trembling, he dialed. Marcus, he croaked when the voice answered. Help me. I'm outside the bar. I can't move. We're coming. Marcus replied, voice steady but urgent. Just hold on. Henry dropped the phone. The cold seeped into his bones. The world blurred. Then a noise. The bar door creaked open. Tony again. Still here? You make me sick, he said, walking toward Henry with slow, cruel intent. Please, Henry whispered. No more. But Tony didn't stop. He leaned in close, whispering, I should end this now. He raised his foot for one final kick. Engines roared down the street. Floodlights cut through the dark. Stop right there, a commanding voice thundered. Tony froze, blinded by the sudden light. Out of the vehicles stepped Marcus, broad, furious, and behind him, several former Navy SEALs. Tony backed up a step, unsure. The soldiers moved as one, surrounding him. Marcus rushed to Henry, kneeling beside his wounded friend. Fury lit his eyes. What the hell did you do to him? He roared at Tony. You don't understand? He provoked me. Provoked? Marcus echoed. You beat a man half to death because of the color of his skin? Tony swallowed, retreating toward the bar. This is my place. He had no right to exist. One of the SEALs barked, stepping forward. Another leaned beside Henry, gently examining his face. Look what he did. Marcus stood up, turning to Tony. You won't get away with this. Tony lifted his hands, trying to talk. What, you gonna jump me now? It makes us human. Marcus snapped. Something you clearly forgot how to be. A siren howled in the distance. Getting closer, Tony stiffened. Did you call the cops? Marcus didn't blink. No, the hospital. Henry needs help. But maybe it's time they saw what you did. Tony panicked. This isn't over. Exactly, Marcus said. Tony turned back toward the bar, steps heavy with fear. Behind him, the SEALs tightened their formation. Then, lights flashed at the end of the street. The first patrol car turned the corner, sirens cutting through the night. Henry blinked up at the blur of blue and red. Marcus whispered, Stay with me, brother. But something wasn't right. Another voice from the shadows, then a sudden, It's not going to stay like this. The ambulance's siren faded as it pulled up sharply. Two paramedics rushed out, one dropping to his knees beside the battered man. What happened to him? He asked, already checking Henry's pulse. They beat him. Left him like a dog in the street. Marcus replied coldly, eyes locked on Tony, who crept back toward the bar entrance as if distance might erase what he'd done. Possible head trauma. Multiple contusions. One paramedic murmured into his radio. They lifted Henry onto a stretcher gently. He groaned, trying to rise, but was held down softly. Easy, sir. You're safe now. No, Henry croaked. Don't leave me out of this. That man has to pay. He will, Marcus whispered, steadying his friend. This is just beginning. Tony reappeared, phone pressed to his ear, muttering frantically. The mask of control was gone. Sweat poured from his brow as he tried to summon someone, anyone, who could make this go away. Point one Seal, the youngest, stepped toward him. His eyes burned. You know what you did? You didn't just beat a man. You beat one of us. And that doesn't disappear with lawyers. What? You gonna lynch me now? Tony snapped, voice cracking more from fear than defiance. No, Marcus said softly. We don't spit on veterans. We don't kick men down. But we do record. He raised his phone. On the screen, the full footage, Henry's removal, the slurs, the savage attack. Words like animal, useless, black scum echoed through the street from the phone's speaker. We're going to bury you legally. Tony's face turned white. Another SEAL joined, grim. You're exposed now. No bar counter to hide behind. Tony backed away, tripping on his own threshold. Inside the ambulance, Henry watched, pain in his eyes, but something else too, justice. For once, he didn't feel alone. The ambulance pulled away. Marcus turned. You have no idea the storm coming for you. Tony didn't answer. Couldn't. Behind Marcus, another SEAL began dialing. Who are you calling? One asked. News. This needs to be on every damn TV in the state. Tony's hands trembled. This is defamation. That old man provoked me. That old man is Henry Jefferson, Marcus said, stepping closer. 24 years in the Navy SEALs. 3 tours in Afghanistan. 1 in Iraq. And you're painting him a threat because he's black? Tony scoffed, desperate to reclaim the upper hand. If you love him so much, go with him. You're not canceling me. Marcus's voice lowered to something lethal. Cancel you? No, Tony. We'll dismantle you. Your reputation, your business, your peace of mind. One piece at a time. People began appearing on the sidewalk, drawn by the flashing lights and tension. Some knew Tony. Others quickly pieced things together. Phones were up, eyes locked on him. An older man in a trucker hat approached. Was it that bastard? He asked. Marcus nodded. The man glared at Tony. My boy died in Fallujah. That man. What you did to him. He's more of an American than you'll ever be. You disgust me. Tony said nothing. Couldn't. In the silence, he began to fall. Tony's bar, the Patriot, stood boarded up. Windows crossed with plywood. The front door sealed by the county sheriff. Closed pending hate crime investigation. A handmade sign in red marker flapped on the wall. We don't serve hate. We don't forget Henry Jefferson. Tony hadn't left his apartment in 2 days. His bank accounts frozen. Civil suit filed. News vans had circled like vultures. His phone lit up with threats, legal demands, and messages of scorn. The local Veterans Association had filed a federal hate crime complaint. His lawyer quit. Sponsors cut ties. Even former bar patrons stopped returning his calls. He sat alone in the dark kitchen, replaying it all. The crack of his fist on Henry's jaw. The old man's body crumpling. The voice, please enough. He saw it in every blink, felt it in every breath. And worst of all, it wasn't others' hate that haunted him now. It was his own. Outside, graffiti scrawled in black paint had appeared on the brick. Don't touch one of ours. Tony fell to his knees. The TV played in the background. News footage of Henry being discharged. In a wheelchair, chin high, surrounded by SEALs like brothers in arms. I serve to protect freedom for all, even those who hate me, Henry said to the press. But today, I feel protected by something stronger, those who refuse to stay silent. Tony wept, not from guilt, but because he knew nothing would save him now.